it's Cassie Oberg in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania. Spring has sprung, and oh my goodness, it is just beautiful outside. The swans are swimming, the goats are bleating, the horses are galloping. It's just a perfect day here. So, anyway, I thought we would do sketch 4 from the virtual crop from February, and I'm just going to do it easy peasy Cassie way because I never cut perfectly. So I'm going to just show you how I managed to make that work. So let's head on over and make this happen. Okay, as you can see, this is an absolutely stunning sketch. On this side, we have this circular thing, and that's the part I mean by making sure that we cut it right. So let's move this out of our way, and we're going to start with an 11 by 11 square. 11 and a half by 11 and a half square. Gotta say that right. Say that right or it won't be right, right? That's a lot of rights. Okay, so we're gonna cut that 1/2 inch off, and we're gonna cut this 1/2 inch off. And then we're gonna put it onto our mat. So you just wanna center it here. The other thing that we could do if you want to is cut that first, but that's not the way I wanted to do it. We're going to do it this way. So we're going to cut it with the red blade on the inside. And you just want to make sure that you have it lined up all around, but we are going to make a nice ring to go on it. And so that is going to help hide if we're not perfect, because I'm not perfect. Okay, now there are 2 ways that you can cut these diagonals on the corners. One way would just be to snip with your microtip scissors by folding it in half, so we can find where those cuts should be. So here we go here, and just try to take your time and line it up. I know I'm not one much to take my time, am I? So that's kind of funny, but it can be done. So just try to make sharper little corners there. And now we're going to cut it right here on the diagonal. And this is what you would do with a regular triangle that didn't have a circle cut out inside. But you can also do it with one that does have a circle cut out of the inside. Okay, so there we go. And now we just have to cut these. I have been frantically getting ready for a very fun retreat, and that is why my trimmer is just a little bit of a mess. Okay, now I'm keeping these parts together because I want to flip them in the right order in case my cuts weren't perfect, right? Because if I mix them all up, it's going to be hard to get it back together perfectly. So there we go. This goes like this. Okay. So now we're going to come over here, and we are going to line this back up, and now we're going to flip this and flip this. Wow, those are upside down. Let's see. There we go. Doesn't matter which or which. I just wanted my ribbons to be right side up. I could have rotated my circle around if I wanted to, but I did want to make sure that my edges were lined up with the right edges, because that'll just make this whole thing come out so much simpler. If you mix them all up, then if your cuts weren't perfect, it's harder to do. Okay, so this is all going to get laid down here. And now I need to cut a circle to go on top of here. And that's going to hide some of my imperfections. Okay. We're going to take this one, line it up on here, and we're going to cut the outside with the red blade. shoot. I moved it. I'll tell you what, some days. Okay, it's not that big of a deal. We'll line it back up. We're going to open up our next one, and we're going to cut the inside with the green one. So it's preferable that you don't move it. If you do, just eyeball it and try to get it back in the right spot. If it doesn't turn out right, I can just cut another one. I know where to get some more cardstock, believe it or not. I mean, everything is packed up for the retreat, but I can find some. I think I brought a whole pack over here. Okay. So this is going to go on here. And see how that's going to cover up my imperfections, because I am far from a perfect person. I don't know if you know that about me, but I'll tell you again if you don't know it. And we're going to tape this down. So this is going to go across the top. And we just want to center it. And I'm not going to press it down. I'm not going to quite commit, because then I can wiggle it if I have it a little off. I'm going to try to get my outsides to match up first, because the inside I can cover, right? Okay. There we go. And, okay, I want to scoot this down just a little. That's what I thought. So we're going to just scoosh it a tiny bit, thus the not committing. Get my corners lined up. Corners lined up. Ah, now it's over this way too far. When measuring matters. Okay. Bring it over a little bit that way. Line this up here. Line this up here. Playing with paper is fun. And thankfully, I always know where to get more. But here we go. Okay. Now I came down too far. I did not sleep at all last night, girls. I'm prepping for this retreat. I'm super excited. So I'm going on pure adrenaline. But that's okay. Sometimes pure adrenaline is a good thing. I promise it'll look pretty when we are finished. This piece to wiggle. Okay, there we go. That was the hardest part of this entire sketch. So now we are just going to put this down. And the nice thing about this is, watch. It is going to cover up the imperfections. And that brings me joy. Okay. Whew. That makes me happy. Now we're going to, so this is how I open a pack of cardstock. So just go like this. It's the fast and easy way, and you don't get a paper cut. And now we are going to do some magic mats with the whimsical punch. So we're going to need this for the second page. So I need to mat these two photos, but I also need this punch. So I'm going to just come across. This. And notice I'm just lining up the triangle each time and lining it up with this blue. And I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to actually do another one across here. It's not going to be a 12-inch border, but I am going to be able to use it later for some fun stuff. So I'm going to just bring it across. I'm lining up the blue triangle. I'm lining up on the blue. It's against the top over here. And that is giving me a perfect punch every single time. Last one. And so this can go off to the side for use later. And now let's get rid of this. And last but not least, let's make ourselves some measured mats. So I want this to be 10.5 by 10.5. So I can do some 4.25 by 3.25, or yeah, 4.25 by 6.25 mats. So 10.5 by 10.5. And now I can easily come across here, measure over to 4.25, measure down to the front of it at 7.25. The cut line will be at 6.25. That is important information to know. And then after that first one, you can just line it up with the actual cut, and you don't have to remember that anymore. It's just that first one. And now I have 4 mats and a border and a partial border out of a singular piece of cardstock. So now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to take 2 of my pictures. This was when we first arrived in Belgium. Adriana had put up a cute tree for us. And so I'm just going to look at her smiling face. Oh my gosh, this girl. So I'm just going to add these 2 in here. And they're going to come over here like this. As you can see, they're on here like this. And I want this one up a little bit. There we go. Okay, now let's come over to the other side. So, and this is going to go over here. I have these mats for later use. And I need see what our sketch says. Oops, go down on this sketch. We need an 11.5. It says 11.5 by 11.5 on here, but when I did the measurements, that did not quite work out. So I did 9.25 by 11.5. So, because I mathed. Let's see if I'm right. 9.25 by 11.5. So that's going to come right here. And then over here, I'm going to use it says 2.25, so 9, 10, 11.5. Yep, that sounds right. 2.25 by 11.5. And they said I wouldn't use those math skills. You know what, I'm going to cut it off this way. I'm just going to like where the bows fall better that way. And so this is going to go right here next to it. So let's center these. So we need 1/4 inch top, bottom, all around. And then this is going to go right next to it. There we go. And now we're going to bring this over to be this cute little thing here. And I am actually going to make this go the other way because I want a little bit more room over there. Plus, I don't really want my cranberry right up against my bows. So sometimes you're going to make decisions to just do things a little bit differently than the actual sketch. And that, whoops, forgot to make it 11.5. That would be helpful. Oh, I guess it goes all the way up, all the way to the top and bottom on this one. So we'll stick with that. That's why I didn't cut it. That makes sense. Okay. And now we're going to bring these pictures over. And I am going to decide which ones I want on top. And I'm going to use some peekaboo pockets. So I want these two on top. These two can go here. These two can get matted. I feel like this little piggy went to the market. This little picture went to the market, and this little picture stayed home. So these two are going to go here. Then we're going to grab this picture. And, of course, this picture. Let's see. I am not going to mat that picture, I don't think. Actually, I am going to mat it. I'm going to mat it with white. All right, magic matted over here. And I just want this one to be a little bit different. It'll stand out a little bit more. There we go. Yes. And now I'm going to add this picture in, and that is going to be a 2x4. Put my cute little husband right here. So we're going to trim him off over here. And trim him off over here. We just want him. We already have the tree and multiple other pictures. Make sure we don't cut off his head. And he's just going to go right over here. This is going to go down. If I decide to come back and do some writing, which you may or may not do, I'll just put it right here using write-on strips. That's my favorite thing to do. In fact, let's just do that. I should probably say something. These are my all-time favorite because you can just take them and look at this. No extra measuring needed. No expert experience. Just snip them where they need snipped, and down they go. Pull two off there. Don't need to. A little bit too far down. And now I can write my story about how when we got here, baby girl had found this tree. Of course, she found it. She literally found it. That's what she does. And she brought it back home, and voila, we had a Christmas tree. In fact, I'm going to add this tree. Let's see, what trees do we have? I could use this tree. Oh, no, I like this tree better. That tree's not quite it. I'm going to use this tree. So I don't need this last one. Look, not too bad pulling it back up. And we'll cover that part up right there. Yes, definitely like that better. Okay. And now I'm going to put the page protector on. I will be able to slide the page protector back off to do my little bit of writing. But I thought I would go ahead and put the peekaboos on for anybody who wants a little bit of peekaboo help. I do love my peekaboos. So, unbury them over here. And I have this and this. So, if I take a peekaboo, I am going to flip this over. There is now, these are, I'm still working on old peekaboos, but there is now, this one gets flipped upside down, a little strip on the back to help you know exactly where that adhesive is. And that is super helpful because it used to be that I'd have to remind people that the adhesive is on the opposite side as the opening, and that way people could find it. So if you have old peekaboos, you just go to the opening, you flip it, and then you can find this strip. And you put this one right side up. You put the other one upside down so that when you flip up, it turns right side up. And then in it goes. And then you can put it down. Ta-da! Okay. And that's it. That is sketch 4. And I'm super happy with it. So anyway, I hope you learned something. I hope you had fun. I will see you next week, which will be right after my retreat, which I don't know if you know this, but I am so excited for. It is my largest customer retreat yet, and I have so much fun planned for them. So anyway, I hope you have a great day, and